I want to document it from both angles, so I'll be moving around with the camera afterwards. I can handle the camera. What I just wanted to say was how grateful I am for Clarion Suites here in Hamden to, help us out while we're here for the next 4 days. Today is a very timely situation too. It's another big challenge, another big bump in the road. I'm losing Bob today. He's got to get back to his wife. I've had him long enough. He's been with me for over 2 weeks. And actually what I want to do, Bob, because it's your last day and he's got to leave in an hour. He's got to get to the train station. If you can just say a few words, like your reflection and everything, and maybe, your insight into this is valuable. So if you could just say it,
insight?
and also how you got here. Also,
how I got here.
Yeah, how did this happen?
It all happened because I'm married. You guys know what I mean. My wife is a coordinator at one of the high schools that George had on his schedule. And during some of the emails when they were setting this up, he just typed in a little line at the end of one of them saying, "Do you know anybody that could drive me for a few days?" So Lynn came home to me and asked if I would be interested. And I said, sure, what's a couple days, Well, that was 17, 18, 19 days ago, I think, something like that. And we're still here on the road with George. Now, I never met George, never talked to George, didn't know who George was. But all of a sudden, I got a ticket confirmation on my email saying I was booked on a flight from Manchester, New Hampshire to Buffalo, New York. Early Saturday morning. George doesn't realize there is, time people like to sleep on weekends. But we got there, and we arrived in Buffalo, and I get off the plane. I'm walking out through the baggage claim area, and suddenly there's a couple police cars from Buffalo, New York, a couple from Toronto, the provincial police, and followed by this vehicle, the ambulance, the truck of life. George jumps out and says hello. The driver at the time was a Ontario provincial police officer. She jumps out, says, here it is, and I met George, and away we came. We've had lots of experiences along the road. In these 3 weeks, I've grown to know George a little bit. He's a workaholic. He's very devoted to the cause, but he does not drive. So he does need a driver to drive this truck. It's very easy to drive, power steering, it's all comfortable, nice radio. We did pretty well. Until we broke down the first thing. About 3 hours after I met George, we broke down. The good Lord is with us. We got people to work on the truck on a Sunday morning, and we continued our journey and made it to Bangor for Monday morning's presentation. Yeah, we have our problems along the way, but George works hard. The driver's responsibility. We need a driver to replace me. Could be only for a day or two, or you can do as long as you like. He's not that hard to live with. We get along well for 3 weeks. And all I can say is you just have to be able to go through periods of rushing to do things and then periods of time where you're just sitting back and reading. I've read 3 books on the journey, and just going to start my 4th on the railroad home. I'm going to take the Amtrak north to Boston area. My wife's going to come down from New Hampshire and pick me up there. And the driving is not all that bad. It's a great little job, and you get to meet some of the nicest of folks. These people here at the Clarion have been very good to us. Some people at the Marihh. We met a Ford dealer who fixed up this truck. Absolutely great. We've met so many good people. The people back in the New York Thruway that fixed us on a Sunday morning. It's been a very great experience, very heartwarming. So if you've got some time, give George a call. What's that number, George?
207-620-4324. And Bob, that was great. But one more thing, we're not finished with you yet. Why were we carrying that torch in New Hampshire?
We were carrying that torch in New Hampshire, as George has been carrying it for about 6 years, to increase the need and the awareness of people that need to sign those donor cards, to get organs. There's so many organs being wasted every day, and there's over 100,000 people in America waiting for organs.
And in whose memory?
Being buried.
Whose memory in New Hampshire?
In New Hampshire, the memory of the torch run was done in memory of my wife's former husband, who died of heart disease, And she got many letters from people thanking them for the gift of life that Arthur donated after his death. You watch the news every night. You see these horrible accidents, people dying. Each one of those people that died could help 11 to 14 more people live. Why let your organs go? Do not take your organs to heaven. The good Lord knows we need them here on earth. Thank you, George.
Very good. Thank you, Bob. Okay, now, John, are you up to saying a few words? About, if not, don't it's okay. If you, no, you're okay? Well, do you want me to speak? Because okay. Can you come back here, please, Bob? What I'm just gonna talk a bit about my personal story. 14 years ago, I had literally hours left to live. I was in a Toronto hospital, and I pretty well made my funeral arrangements because I was very sick with a. I was very sick. Oh, hi. You're from?
You came and register.
Oh, glad
Hi.
you can make it. We're just kind of starting, so
Okay.
and then we can do one-on-ones.
Sure.
Okay, and then you probably could pick up some notes as we're going
Are you
along.
John Gray?
I'm George Marcello. This is John Gray.
Hi.
And you'll be able to speak to her after John. Okay, we're just going to say we're webcasting, right?
Okay.
So thank you
You're
for
right.
coming. Okay, so what I just wanted to and I'll make it really brief. My life was saved through a loved one's organ, and the person that donated, I still don't know who they are up to this day. But when I woke up after that operation, like all my family, all my friends were so happy because they knew I was going to make it. Somewhere in another part of the country, there was a family grieving because they just lost somebody, yet they made that incredible decision. And my life was saved that day, and 5 others. So the moment I woke up after that operation, knowing that there was organs literally going in the wastebasket, hundreds of them every day, I just was obsessed in changing that. And so from that moment on, I found it step by step and got into all these crazy things, doing this crazy adventure here. But I know what John's going through, and it's very difficult because it's a very difficult thing to do when you're going through that situation. My family, it was very hard for them to even talk about it. But we have to, we have to talk about this. We can't leave this in a closet. We can't. It has to come out because people are good, but they need to hear the message, and we have to get, whatever we got to do, we got to get the message out, and people will respond. That we found that out, that once you talk to people, they'll respond. So that's what we're trying to do, and today we're hoping we can do everything we can to make it possible for John to get the same chance I got, and many other people that have received these organs. So we're happy to have you here to help us in that endeavor. And it doesn't start or stop here, it continues. We got to keep doing things after this as well. So thank you. Did you just want to say a few words on behalf of the hotel? Just very quick.
Come on up here a little bit. You're close enough now. Look at the computer.
Okay. Everyone here at the Clarion Hotel is very happy and pleased to be a part of this event. This organization has been great in passing the word along for organ donation, and it's really needed around the world. We're very happy to be a part of it. Work has been great. Happy to have you here. Thank you.
Now, do you have a camera?
I have a video camera. I couldn't get a regular camera.
Do you want my camera to take a picture, or I can
Well,
email?
I don't know. I need identifications on some of these folks.
Sure.
First of all, where are you from, George?
I'm from Toronto. It's not my fault, but you got to give me a little respect. We won 2 World Series.
Okay.
And we should have won the third one.
MOR.
All of a sudden, there's this strike.
Morcello.
Oh, yeah,
And you're from
Toronto.
Toronto.
Yeah.
And you started
Back in October 23rd in Musilla.